What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Sam here to break down the NASCAR Truck Series race on Draftkings at Kansas Motor Speedway. Saturday night race. We got two races this weekend, Cup and Trucks. If you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. Go check out the Cup Series video. It should already be out by the time you're watching this. I'm uploading them at the same time. So, yeah. If you want to get more of my content, you can always go subscribe to my Patreon. I'll put the link down below. It's only $10 a month, and you're going to get content for every single race for all three series combined. It's going to be the spreadsheet. See here, another one. You're going to see optimal lineups, past optimal lineups, what I think each one's going to look like each week, rankings, what each driver needs to do to pay off their salary, and some more other things over there as well. So be sure to hit that link below, and as well, follow me on Twitter at @Nalien_. Let's get into the breakdown now. We're going to start off Kyle Busch. He's $15,000, and this is kind of, a big decision this week. What to do with Kyle Busch. He hasn't been great. This like in the Truck Series, usually it's just like play Kyle Busch. But he's raced 3 races this year. One of them he dominated in one. The other 2 he didn't. John Nemechek has bested him twice this year. So I don't think Kyle Busch is a lock play. I'm definitely gonna have some Kyle Busch because if you look at all his stats, he's number 1 in everything. Lap sled as well. He's just an absolute stud. And he starts second, so it's gonna be interesting to see who gets out to the jump. Is it him or is it John Hunter? I think this week I'm not gonna have. I usually go into these truck races having, 90 to 95% Kyle Busch. But this week I think I might go more like 60, 70, and then have some John Nemechek as well as a dominator. Those are going to be the only 2 guys I'm looking to lead laps. I don't think anyone else leads a lap in this race, to be honest. I mean, they're starting 1-2, so they're going to get out early, and except for maybe pit stop cycles, I don't really see anyone else leading in this race. That's just how I think it's going to go. So, yeah, I like Kyle Busch. He's going to still be someone I want to get to. Ross Chastain's up next. He starts 34th. He's $12,000. Needs a top 9 to pay off that salary. I think it could happen. The niche truck, it's not great, but he does always seem to run a top 10 race when he's driving a niche truck. So he's fine if you want to go there. I think I'm just probably more likely to just pay up for Kyle Busch. I don't think I'm going to get a lot of Chastain because I don't think he doesn't have as much a high of a ceiling as some of these other, as like Nemechek and Kyle Busch. Chastain, I think his ceiling is a top 5. I think he could get there, but I don't see him getting up front. I don't see him getting fast laps. I don't see him winning this race, and at that point, I don't think he's as great of a play. I think he's fine if you want to go there, but still not going to be a huge play for me. Chase Briscoe's the same thing. I think he's overpriced. I love Chase Briscoe's talent. I think he's a really good driver, but he's in the Corey Roper racing car or truck this week, and I'm sure he'll outdrive it. He'll outdrive what Corey Roper does, by a good bit, and he'll probably get a top 15, maybe a top 10. But he's not, going to be some dominant force here. He needs a top 10 to pay off that salary. I think that's kind of his ceiling, so I don't really expect a lot out of Briscoe here. It's just the equipment he's in isn't great. Some people just always look at the driver, and we got to pay attention to the equipment sometimes too. So I don't think I'm going to be all that interested in Chase Briscoe here. I prefer Chastain. And I prefer Grant Enfinger. He's in the Cody Rohrbach car. He needs as well a top 10 to pay off the salary. He's $1,000 less, and he only starts 1 spot back. And we saw last time Grant Enfinger drove this truck was at Vegas. I think it was Vegas. It was either Vegas or Atlanta, and he drove a top 10 car or top 10 race. And so I just, I'm not saying he's going to get a top 10, but it's definitely possible. I don't love him or anything, but I do like him over Briscoe. I think I like him more than Chastain too, just because you're saving. You need the same thing basically out of all 3 of those guys, and he's $1,500 less than Chastain and $1,000 less than Briscoe. So I'd probably prefer Enfinger over all of them. I know he's not a Cup Series driver, he's not the bigger name, but I think just the savings and salary is going to really help me. I already kind of talked about John Nemechek. He's going to need to lead laps to pay off this salary. Second best average finish at Kansas, 6th at intermediates, 2nd at large ovals. He's just really good. 207 laps at intermediates, and those are all this year because he's obviously been a Truck Series driver for a while now. So yeah, I really like Nemechek. He's gonna be one of my favorite plays. Just a dominator. Gonna have a lot of him and Kyle Busch. Probably not anything in a line together because I don't think that works, but that'll work this race just because they start 1-2. But it could, but I doubt it. I guess the way that works out is if they both lead a ton of laps and they literally finish 1-2, which is honestly possible, but I don't know. I think he's fine if you want to go there. Brett Moffatt's up next. He's $9,700. Brett Moffatt also needs a top 10 payoff his salary. I think this is fine. He starts 26. He's in that niche truck because I feel like I got to mention every single race at this point because, he's just not in the same as good of equipment as he has been. The GMS racing trucks that he was in last year are just a whole lot better. He has only the 12th best average finish at Kansas isn't great, but 3rd best at intermediates, 7th at large ovals. As a lap leader, 545 intermediates, 334 at large ovals. He has the one of the highest amount of laps led at Kansas as well in the field, so I do like that. I don't think he's going to get up front and lead laps because he is in a niche truck, but top 10 is definitely possible, so he's definitely firmly in my pool. Someone I'm going to be getting some ownership to this week. Sheldon Creed starts 8th. He's going to need a top 2 or he's going to have to lead laps. pay off the salary. Creed's just not a great intermediate track driver. Like, this is just not his style, you know. Now where we see him succeed, as you can see by the stats here, 12th best average finish at intermediates, 14th at large ovals. It's not like his average position is much better. It's a little bit better, but not much. I don't expect a lot from him. I don't really see him getting up front and leading laps in this race, so I'm probably not going to be too on Sheldon Creed here. Zane Smith starts 9th. He also needs a top 2 to pay off the salary. I think that's more likely. He's a better intermediate, large oval track driver. 4th best average finish at intermediates, 10th at large ovals. He had the 2nd best average position at Kansas last year. Only had the 9th best average finish, though, but he was driving well. If there is one other driver that I can see getting up front and leading laps in this race, other than Busch and Nemechek, it would be Zane Smith. I think it's unlikely, but I could see it happening, so I don't hate him. If you want to play that, I think he's an interesting tournament play, but that's really about it. I'm probably not going to go there in any other sort of form of contest. If you want to get Zane Smith, I think he's fine. I prefer him to Sheldon Creed a lot, but still, not the biggest fan. Austin Hill needs a top 3. Pay off that salary without getting any dominator points. I mean, yeah, that could happen too. 6th best average finish at Kansas, 8th at intermediates, 11th at large ovals. Look at average position, 6th at Kansas, 10th intermediates, 11th large ovals. Hill hasn't really had a great year this year, to be honest. I mean, he's been all right, but it's not like he's been, supremely up front like we've seen in the past. So if you want to get there, I think that's fine. I can see it, but probably not a top guy on my board. I prefer Zane Smith. Matt Crafton, $8,700, starting 12th. He needs a top 6 to pay off the salary. Now, this is someone I do like. I do like playing Matt Crafton here. A play I am very interested in. 3rd best average finish at Kansas, 5th at intermediates, 5th at large ovals, 4th best average position at Kansas, 5th at intermediates, 3rd at large ovals. I mean, Matt Crafton is just a really consistent driver, really consistent top 5 driver, especially these intermediate tracks. Only needs a top 6 to pay off that salary. I like that. I think that this is a very good play. Someone going to like in tournaments. I think if you want to play him in cash too, I think that's fine. But love him in tournaments. I think he could get a top 2, top 3 in this race, maybe even win if he gets a little bit lucky here. So, yeah, I like Crafton a lot, and this is going to be someone I want to pay up for. I mean, you're really not paying that much for him, but I do like Crafton. Derek Krause needs a top 6 pay off the salary. I do not like this. I think he's way too expensive. Starting 14th, 7th best average finish at Kansas, 14th at intermediates, 6th at large ovals. You look at average position, 12th at Kansas, 16th at intermediates, and 15th at large ovals. Not going to be all that interested there. I think he's way too expensive. Ben Rhodes starts 3rd. Needs a top 2 to pay off the salary without dominating, without getting lap slip points. It could happen. Like, okay, in reality, like I keep saying, these guys need a top 3. So one of these guys is going to get that. Like Creed, Smith, Hill, Rhodes, Crafton, like one of those guys is going to hit that. And they'll probably be, I don't know, that may not make them optimal, but it'll make them a pretty good play. So it's worth it to have some, exposure to some of these guys. But if I had to rank them, I'd probably go Smith 1, Hill 2, Rhodes 3, and then Creed 4. So, I mean, take that for what's worth. I don't think you need to play those guys. I think they can 5X, but I still don't think that means you need to play them. I'd rather just, play more expensive lines with Busch and Nemechek. Christian Eckes, $8,100, starting 17th. He is driving number 98 truck for ThorSport this week. I do like Christian Eckes here. He needs a top 10 to pay off his salary. 7th best average finish at Kansas, 9th at intermediates, 4th at large ovals, 5th best average position at Kansas, 4th at intermediates, 4th at large ovals. Eckes is a good driver. Didn't win a race last year because he got kicked out of Kyle Busch Motorsports, but I'd argue he's definitely a better driver than Chandler Smith, who's in that truck now. But look, he starts 17th, gives you some place differential. He should get a top 10. I don't think that's. I mean, I just don't. Unless he wrecks out, I really don't see him not getting a top 10 in this truck. So, yeah, I like Christian Eckes. I think this is someone I want to get a good bit of today or this weekend. Ryan Truex, he starts 31st at $8,000. He's going to need a top 17 to pay off that salary. This is pushing it. He can get there, but I don't feel great about it. He does have the 14th best average finish at Kansas, but when you look at other intermediate and large ovals, it's 23rd. Same with average position for him, only 18th best average finish at Kansas. Like, you're kind of pushing his ceiling there a little bit. I think his ceiling may be a top 15, not a top 17, but you're pushing it a little bit there, Truex. I think he's fine if you really want to go there, but still not. I would much prefer to play Eckes for $100 more. Tyler Ankrum, he starts 13th. He needs a top 9 to pay off that salary. Ankrum's just not good, man. He just isn't good. I had high hopes coming into the season last year. He's just not good. Top 9, I don't see it. I mean, it could happen. He's in a top 9 truck. He's in a GMS truck, but yeah, I'm not going to be too interested there. Look at his numbers. They're not looking so hot. Probably going to avoid that one. Stuart Friesen, I didn't even write down when he needs to pay off his salary, so great job on me. He's probably going to need like a top 5, I'd assume. It can happen. Not too excited there. I mean, he's a fine play if you really want to go there, but not going to be all that excited. Chandler Smith needs a top 8 to pay off his salary, so he can drop a little bit in the from the starting order, but he finished 3rd here last year, or he had 3rd best average finish last year. It's pretty good, but other intermediates and large ovals, Chandler Smith has not been good. been booty. So if you want to go there, that's fine. I don't really love it. Johnny Slaughter, same thing. Needs a top 5, but it's not like we've seen Johnny Slaughter be a top 5 truck at all in the last year. So I mean, he's if you need a top 10 from Slaughter, that's always like okay, that's fine. But a top 5 is pushing it in my opinion. Starts a little high up for me to really want to go there. I think he's okay. I prefer him over Smith. I think Slaughter's just a better driver at this point than Chandler Smith is. So I much prefer him over Chandler Smith, but still, Johnny Slaughter, not going to be too interested. Jordan Anderson's way too expensive. I don't get this. He needs a top 21 to pay off his salary. Now, I know his finish numbers look good. 10th best average finish at Kansas. 16th at intermediate, 16th at large ovals, but his average running position's bad. 23rd at Kansas, 24th at intermediate, 24th at large ovals. That's more likely what he's going to drive at. I think 21st is like a ceiling play for him, and I don't see that. This truck is not good. I think Jordan Anderson's a good driver. I just don't think the equipment's that good. So I don't see it. I think they priced him up because of his starting position. Hope people play that, but that is not a spot I really want to get to at all. If he was like 6,600, 6,500, would be a different story, but 7,100 is too much to pay for Jordan Anderson. Same thing as Spencer Davis. He starts 19th at $7,000. I don't get that either. Needs a top 13 to pay off that salary. Like you guys see that, right? Like you see it. No, that's not even close. I'm gonna pass. Todd Gilliland needs a top 7, $6,900, can drop a spot. I think that's fine. He's probably more likely to finish in the 10 and 15 range, as you can see by the numbers there. But, Todd Gilliland, every once in a while, we see him have really good runs. He's actually had a pretty decent start to the year, so I don't hate this. I think he could totally get a top 7. I'll probably have him in my player pool. Won't get a lot of him, but definitely someone to maybe look for in tournaments. I think it's unlikely he really pays off, but it is possible. Timmy Hill needs a top 17, starting 25th. Like this one, this Hill Motorsports truck, it's decent enough, and Timmy Hill's a good driver. Timmy Hill can definitely drive it up into the top 17. I'm not saying it's a great player or anything. Probably wouldn't play him in cash, but definitely a tournament play that I like, and I do think has some pretty decent upside there. So I am going to be interested in Timmy Hill for sure. Rafael Lessard, 6,600, starting 15th. I do like Lessard here. Lessard needs a top 12 to pay off his salary. Look, I know his numbers don't look good, but his average running position this year has actually been really high. I don't remember the exact number for it. Like he's just been caught up in wrecks. Like I feel like every single week it's an accident, and it's just not good for him. I mean, it's just been an unfortunate start to the season for him, but he's been fast. He's had speed. He's honestly been the 3rd fastest car for GMS this year. Or truck for GMS. So I like this play for him. I think this is definitely a spot where we could see Rafael Lessard pay off. He only needs a top 12. He's definitely a top 12 truck, and I'd argue a top 12 driver. I know his numbers don't show it, but Rafael Lessard has had a huge. Those numbers are mostly last year. Huge improvement this year from last year. Huge. Now I know there's been some wrecks. The finishes haven't been there, but the running position where he's been driving has been much better. So I do like Lessard. This is definitely something I am going to have some good exposure to. Dawson Kramer needs a top 19. I don't see that. He's at a ceiling. I mean, every once in a while he'll crack the top 20, but not usually. So I don't think this is going to be a spot that I really want to get there. Timothy Peters, 6,300, starting 22nd. He needs a top 16 to pay off that salary. It could happen. 21st best average finish right now at intermediates and 24th at large ovals. Like, it's fine if you really want to go there. But at the same time, I don't feel too comfortable about that. Top 16 is a high number for us to go for Timothy Peters here. Danny Bone, he's 6,200. Danny Bone needs a top 16. Like, I don't see that at all. CJ McLaughlin's the new name that we probably haven't talked about all year. He starts 40th, dead last. He's 6,000. He needs a top 26. He's driving for the Ramey Brothers truck. I think the 34. I think it's the number he's in. I don't remember what number, but it's one of the 2 Ramey Brothers trucks. So I think he's fine. I don't know. I don't know what to expect here. I don't really know what to expect from this truck. It's hard to say. You're paying a little bit for him. Like, if he was like in the 5K range, it'd be a different story. But 6,000, you're kind of paying up a little bit for him. I think he's all right, but wouldn't be too confident in him. Top 26, like, it's kind of pushing it. That's pushing it of what to expect from a Ramey Brothers truck. So much like Tanner Gray, much more needs a top 15 to pay off his salary, and that's kind of what he's been all year. Like a 10 to 15 place driver. Maybe he'll finish if he finishes 18th. Okay, like that's he does that sometimes too, but I think he's way too cheap. If you look at just by the odds, like he's just in green around all these other reds. Him and Lessard and Todd Gilliland, just all in green around these other reds. He's in a much better equipment too, that DGM truck versus the Ramey Brothers truck or the CMI truck that you see below. It's not even close. So Tanner Gray, I do like here. I think this is definitely a spot where we could see him succeed at, get the top 15, pay off that salary. I think he's way too cheap. He'll probably be pretty chalky too, but that's okay. I think he's a really good play. Ryan Reed, $5,800. No, I mean, he's just not. That car's not good. He needs a top 23 to pay off his salary. He's not getting a top 23 unless there's a million wrecks, which could happen. It is a truck series. That does seem to happen. Jesse Iwuji needs a top 25. That's a Ramey Brothers truck. I don't. No, I don't think that happens either. Again, unless there's a bunch of wrecks. Don't see him paying off that salary. Chase Purdy's kind of interesting. Like, I've been off Chase Purdy all year, but now he's $5,600. He needs a top 19 to pay off the salary. 15th best average finish at Kansas a year ago, so that's pretty solid. 16th best average running position as well, so that's kind of interesting. I think, I hate playing. I don't like playing Chase Purdy, and I can't wait to talk about the next guy I'm about to talk about. But he's fine. I don't mind. I mean, GMS truck's good. He's not good, but the truck is a top 19. He should be able to get a top 19 in that equipment at Kansas too. It's not like it's a attrition track of Bristol or Martinsville or something. So I think Purdy's a fine play. I don't hate him. Definitely someone I'm going to be kind of interested in. Get some ownership too. He's cheap. He's probably going to be popular, but that's fine. I don't hate it. And then now we got to talk about Tate Fogelman, who, I mean, oh my gosh, man, DraftKings always makes it where it's like, I feel like I got to play Tate Fogelman because, he starts 35th, he needs a top 24 to pay off the salary, and that truck is good enough for that. That truck is definitely good enough for that. Tate Fogelman sucks. He's not a good driver, but this truck is good, not good, it's better. And, he did well at Kansas last year. 18th best average finish at Kansas, 21st best average running position. Only needs a top 24. I hate to say it again, it's gross, but Tate Fogelman is totally on the board again. Completely interested. Gonna have some ownership. As will I, Haley Deegan, man. Look, I know she's kind of been a bust this year, but we've seen her have good runs that have even gone, she's cut a tire at road course, got caught up in a wreck at Vegas, I think. It's just some bad luck is running to her in her way so far this year. So it's not, her stats don't look good, but the truck's good enough. I feel like she's going to get turned around at some point. So, while she's 5,300, I don't want to, wait for her to, to turn around before I start playing her. So, only going to be a tournament play for me. Wouldn't play her in cash, but I don't hate it as a tournament play. All right, we got to talk about Brett Holmes, man. Because, look, Brett Holmes has been trash. Trash. Now, I get it. This is his first 2 races from ARCA before. But, man, Sam Mayer came and ran that truck in Martinsville and got a top 10 out of it. Now, Sam Mayer is, kind of goated. He's going to be really, really good. He's probably going to win an Xfinity Series race in the second half of the year. That's my bet on that. I'd bet on that. I'm probably going to bet on it every single week. But, still. Brett Holmes running in the 30s, man. What? He's been awful. It's just, it's frustrating. He's a top 24. I don't really know what to do with him. I really don't. Because this truck is good enough for a top 24, obviously. I know, Sam Mayer probably outdrove it. He probably isn't a top 10 truck, but it's definitely a top 18 truck. But a top 24 truck, it 100% is. Brett Holmes has just sucked. We just got to hope that, he doesn't suck this week. That's kind of, I'm only playing him in tournaments. A few weeks ago he's a cash play, but at this point I only want him in tournaments because, I just don't have faith in him as a driver to really do well. So I think he's fine. I'm going to play him. Not feeling too confident about him, but I'm going to play him. Carson Joseph starts 11th. He needs a top 14. I don't know. I'd much rather play Wayne Self, honestly. Hosfar's fine, but I can just pay $100 less for Wayne Self, who only needs a top 17. He can move back a spot, and once again, he's a top 17 driver, I believe, in the series right now. That's just how I look at it. I think he's, I'm not a huge Wayne Self. I don't think he's that good, but he's a top 17 truck, top 17 driver, so I'm fine with that. That seems like a good value. Spencer Boyd needs a top 22 to pay off his salary, starting 27. This is another one, man. You might be kind of paying for a ceiling, although his ceiling is probably more of a top 20. I don't mind that. I don't mind playing Spencer Boyd here at $4,900, starting 27th. Don't have your expectations too high. He's probably not gonna go off for you and be a great, fantastic player or anything. But I don't hate it. And then you got Chris Wright down here, starting 24th, who's probably gonna be really chalky. He honestly hasn't really been that great this year. New series for him. It's the same thing as Brett Holmes. But he's $4,700 and he only needs a top 21 to pay off that salary. If he stays out of trouble, he should easily do that. So I'm completely fine with that. Once again, I can continue to avoid Norm Benning and Jennifer Jo Cobb because they just drive laps. They're just not good. So that's really all I got to say in this video. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I know I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, but I will be going live Saturday, 12:30 Eastern time. Got to talk about the race. So just tune in. I'll answer all your questions. Always can ask me more questions on Twitter. So that's really all I got to say. Have a great rest of your day.